Hello and welcome to the second part of the Taipy dashboard video for this yrkeshögskola or MYH dashboard that I call it, or the application to get educations approved. So the data is in Swedish, but it doesn't really matter for you if you don't know Swedish. In the previous video we have done more exploratory data analysis and done some charts, a chart in Plotly that we'll use. So I will go into Visual Studio Code and show you now what we have done in last video, and then based on this one we'll build the Taipy dashboard. So here I'm in Visual Studio Code, and this is what we've done in the last video. So we've done some simple exploratory data analysis, and then in the end we built a graph based on number of municipalities. So this is a Plotly chart in Plotly Express, and we've done some layout updates and to customize it to look like this. So based on this one, we will put this into Taipy. So then we'll go into main.py and we'll start with import Taipy taipy.gui.builder as TGB. Let me change here to .ven. So from taipy.gui import GUI. Okay, and this is basically what we need first. So what we do need is here. We have GUI. We need to place page, and we'll do CSS file equals to assets/main.css. So here we will place in our CSS file in assets. So main.css. Okay, so CSS is for styling. Okay, what else? We need to place, let's see, I don't want dark mode, so I place it as false. Use reloader as true so that we can develop this, and port equals 80 since my 5000 is used. So with tgb.page as page. And then we will create our dashboard. So what do we want to place in our page? We can start with tgb.part, place in class name equals to container, and then with tgb.part, let's see, we can't place it later. Let's say tgb.text MYH dashboard 2024. Mode equals MD, like this. Okay, so let's run it. There's an error here with my NumPy. Let's see. And NumPy float was removed in NumPy 2.0. Okay, there's an error here. Let's change source.ven. Activate. Let's see. Activate. uv pip uninstall Taipy. uv pip install Taipy. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what happens now. I run this one. I think it worked. All right, I need to go into my browser. Here, yes, it works. MYH dashboard 2024. Okay, I will place my browser like this so you can see the changes like this. Okay, so let's start with class name card. So I go in here and I do Command R to reload it. Okay, so we can see it's a card here for that one, and we can place, so it's a card where I will place in some text also. So tgb.text, I'll just copy it so you don't need to see me type it out. Okay, let's see. So just some informatic information here. Command R, yes. Let's see. So now I have an idea of my layout. I want to have my graph on one side, and then I want to have filters on the other side. With tgb.layout, I need to lay out it. Columns equals to 2. That means that the first part will take 2 fractions of the available space in this container. And the other column will take 1. Okay? So the idea is that we have one part for the chart and one part for the filters, right? So then we do 2 different parts. So with tgb.parts, let's see, class name, make it into card as well. As, let's see, what can I call? I call it chart, column chart, so that it's easier to recognize, read the code to know what this column is about. Okay? And then I will do tgb.text. Let's see. So number of educations. So number of educations for each municipalities. So I move on here and run this one. You can see I need to make it into Markdown. MD. Okay, perfect. So here I want to place my chart. And here I want to place my filters. So let me copy this one. As called filters. And here I will do some filtering. I will do tgb.text mode equals to MD. So I see filter data. And I want to do another text here. So number of municipalities. Okay. And let's create a slider here. So tgb.slider value equals to number. Okay. And we will place in min equals to 5. Max equals to length of the df. You see Okay. So right now there's some parts that we don't have yet. So we don't have this number municipalities. So we can start quite simply with number municipalities. That is very simple. Number municipalities equals to 5. I'll just have that as a starting. And then we have our DF municipality. So in order to get that one, we will go into our EDA and we have, let's see, we have this one, right? Filter DF municipality. I will copy this one, go into here, and I will place it here. So filter DF municipality. And then we get, let's see, we have DF here, right? So we have DF municip. We need to read in the data. Yes. In order to read in the data, let's go into utils, constants. And for constants, we can do like this. From pathlib, import path, and then let's see, data directory equals to path, then the file dot parents 1, because I jump out 0, jump out 1 to Taipy dashboard, and then slash data. So slash data, and I'm inside there. Okay. And now let us read in. So we need to get from utils.constants import data directory. Okay, based on this one, we can have import pandas as ed. And I'll go into my EDA and I will have, let's see, I have this one, right? Copy this. So instead of here, we need to take this one and we do data directory slash, because it's different when you're reading it in through Python or Python script, and if you're reading it in Jupyter Notebook. Because Jupyter Notebook is based on where the note is, while Python script, when we run it, it's based on where we are in the terminal. But however, since I do this data directory, it's based on where this constants is. So then it's relative to this one. We'll find this one wherever we are in the terminal. It doesn't matter. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so now we have df. And based on df, we can get df municipality, right? So df municipality equals to filter df municipalities df. And let me run this one. Yes. So it seems to work. At least there's no error. Okay, so let's make our slider work with this title here. So we'll go into, let's see, our title is the column chart here. And let me do this. So per kommun, and then I will have a parenthesis and I will say top. So top, and then I will place in the value. So this dynamical value, number municipalities, like this. And I rerun this one and you can see it's 5 now. So if I change this one, you can see it's changing dynamically. However, there's something that I want to make so that it doesn't change all the time. It changes when I release it. And the reason for that is that this is a performance gain so that you don't need to re-render the page. So when we have a lot of elements, a lot of charts, then it will become very slow if I let it run dynamically like this. I don't need to have it instantaneously. I just need that when I drop it, when I release it, right? To make that, we will do continuous equals to false. And I'll show you the difference here. Rerun this one. You can see now it doesn't change, but if I release it, it changes, right? Release it, it changes. Release, it changes. And also I will add a button later on. So this is just for now. So let's continue now. I want to have my chart. So in order to get the chart, let's go into our Jupyter Notebook. And here we have, let's see, here is the chart. Def create municipality bar. I'll copy this one. I will go into front end. I will create charts.py. And inside charts.py, I just paste this in. So df municipality, it's not found. This actually, we don't need that. Or actually, this is quite good when we're calling it. So I will cut it out. And here, let's see, what do we need? We need to import Plotly Express. So import plotly.express as px. And let's save this one. Let's see here. So Plotly Express as px. And we go into here, we need to from frontend .charts import, is it called, create municipality bar. And then I need to create this chart. So I have df municipality here, and then I will do create municipality bar, and I will call this municipality, let's see, municipality chart. So municipality chart equals to this one. I'll increase it a little bit and I'll remove that one. So here you have municipality chart, and it creates a chart, and then we need to place it into our layout. So here in column chart, I will place it using tgb.chart, and tgb.chart has a figure argument where we'll place our, let's see what it's called. It's called municipality chart, right? Like this. Now save this one. So it's a dynamical figure now. So if I run this one, you can see, this is my chart. Cool. So if I increase it, it takes, like this page, this card here takes 2/3 of the area of the width of the container. And this settings here, filtering, it takes 1/3. So that's quite cool. And you can see here's the chart that we created in our EDA. So it's a Plotly chart, and there's something cool with that, is that you can click on it and you can mark, if you want to discuss some part, you can mark those parts and talk about them. Okay. But I want to add some filtering to my chart. So now we have our chart, but we want to filter the data. So if I choose different number of columns, for example, here I have 18, then I want to have 18 bars. How to do that? In order to do that, we can do like this. We can see this is head 9 by default. And what I can do is I can make a on change on the slider to update this municipality chart, like the state.municipality chart, and then I create municipality bar. However, there will be a problem when you want to filter using several things. So I want to filter based on this slider, but also I want to filter based on a drop-down menu. So I want to filter on which type of educational area. So in order to do that, we need to add a button so that the filtering starts when the button fires, when we click on the button. So then in the layout, there's a few things we need to add. So here is the column filters. After the slider, I want to place in, I will copy this text here. I'll call this select, or välj means select. So bildningsområde, select the educational area. So if I run this one, you can see here's välj utbildningsområde. And after that one, I want to place in my selector. So tgb.selector. And here the value should be, we should have something called, let's see here. We need to initialize that one. Selected educational area. And I will start with data. This is my default one. And the value here, I will place in selected, let's see, my autocomplete will help me, selected educational area, perfect. So if I save this one, and then I will add the list of values, and here I need to pick out df område.unique, right? So I pick out all the unique educational areas. So I save this one and rerun this one, and you can see here is my selections. So this is what I can select from. However, I want it to be a drop down, so drop down equals to true. Rerun this one, and you can see, yes, perfect. So when I change this one, I want this graph to be changed, right? So in order to do that, we will add a button. So tgb.button, and I will call this filter data, and on action. So when we click this button, something will happen. What will happen? I want to do filter data. So then I will have a function called filter data. So here, def filter data, and this function, let's see what we will put in. The input is similar to when we used onChange. We place in a state. And inside of the state, inside of this function, we will update things that we want to be updated. So I want my df municipality. I want to pick this out. Equals to filter df municipality, and I will place in state.df. So remember that df is a dynamical variable now. So I can access it through state.df. That means that if, let's say, I can filter it using this one. So educational area equals to state dot, because here we can see there's an educational area that you can put in, and state dot selected educational area, right? So we place in our selected educational area through this drop down. It will be in the state, and we'll send it into this filter df municipality so that it gives me back a df municipality that is filtered. So that is the idea. Okay, and then let's do our municipality chart, because now we have our df municipality that is filtered, so it's a little bit different. And we'll place this inside of my municipality chart. So the state.municipality chart equals to create municipality bar. And here we place in df municipality. So this is the new filtered df municipality. And what else do we need here? We need to place in dot head, because I want to filter it based on what number we get from the slider. And where do we get that one? The variable is called so much as select number municipalities. So let's do the head state.number. Okay. Let me place this here so we have more space. Okay, so this will filter this. So if I save this one and I update here, there's a button here you can see. If I change this one to friskvård and I do filter data, you can see, it becomes different and it's 5 now. So I change this to 18. Yeah, this one changes. There's an error there, or there's a bug. And here, this one doesn't change yet because we haven't filtered yet, but I will do economy, filter data. Yes, now I have 18. Yeah, this maybe 18. Could be less if there is no more data. For example, if I do friskvård, we don't get more because there is no more data. Okay. So the title needs to be changed as well. State dot. So the title, what you can see is that it changes automatically when I move this one. Actually, when I move this one, I don't want the title to be changed. But that is the problem, that the title, you can see here, column chart, it's bounded. So we have this dynamical variable. It's bounded to the number of municipalities. And the number of municipalities is changed in the filtering data. So what we need to do is to have another variable to keep it. So number of municipalities, I will have something called municipalities title equals to number of municipalities. So give it a default value. And I will do similar thing for selected educational area. I will call educational area title. Let's see, selected educational area. And here we can place in the educational area as well, just to show. Let's see, text, Here, number of municipalities. And we can place it inside of, we can say var, so for data IT, if it's data IT. So I place in educational area title, and the number of municipalities should be municipalities title. So is it called that? Municipalities title, yes. Save this one. I'll actually decrease it. It's a little bit jumpy. Okay. So now if I rerun this one, you can see data IT. However, if I change this one, nothing happens. If I do filtering now, yes, only the graph filters, right? So this one is still stays the same. So the graph filters, but this one stays the same. And that is because we need to update and we need to bind these variables as well to our button. So our button, let's say filter state. So here is as simple as this. So state.educational area title equals to state.selected educational area. And I will do similar thing for, let's see, the number municipalities. So number it's hard without autocomplete here. Let's see, municipalities title. Yes, I think I have spelled correctly now. So I rerun this one, and now when we changed here, 14 economy filter data. Yes, 14 economy administration. And then here's probably 14. And here there's none here. Yeah, that is a little bit of a problem. So what we do is just copy this part. Copy the labels here and place it into our chart. Okay. Let's see. Yes, perfect. I change this one. Hotel. Yes, it changes. Good. So the button works. However, the button will make a very simple styling here. Just make it. So the button will put in a class name equals to plain. So I'll save this one. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay, good. Let's see, is there something else we want? I want to place in my data as well, my raw data. So note that we have our columns 2, 1. So it's this line here. So I need to be on this line, I think. Yes. So this is after the columns. And after the columns, I want to put in another card. So with part, tgb.part, class name, card, tgb.text, raw data, mode equals to MD. I won't allow filtering this data, just do raw of this data. Table of df. Okay, like this. So if I rerun this one, you can see raw data here. Okay, so expanding it, it looks like this. Kind of neat. So we have card for the description and the title, and then we have card for this graph. We can filter this one. And you see this one changes. However, this one doesn't change because we haven't filtered this one. So you can see friskvård or kroppsvård, this is still the raw data. It's possible to filter that one also if we change the state.df, and then this one filters as well. Okay. So there's some small parts that I want to change a little bit before ending this video. The functionality is there. I'm happy with the functionality. We can change, you can see when I go down here, we will go into mobile actually like this. Now it's a mobile size. And it's okay. It's what's called, it's responsive. to some point. Like here, I don't really like it here. We could place in CSS breakpoint to change it, but I won't do that to simplify this video, but I will do some CSS actually. And what I want to do is I want to have margins here. I don't like that they are stuck together. So I want to place margins, and in order to do that, let's move on to, I'll make this full screen now. And I will go into, or actually it's better to have it like this so that you can see the change directly. So important is that we have CSS file, assets/main.css, and here assets, and then we have main.css. And let's see that it works. So in order to see that it works, we can just do like this: body background color equals to tomato. That's ugly color, but we can see, yes, it works. Okay, so you can see that the CSS is connected. So then I will do some small things in CSS here. I will make it a little bit more, what's it's called, more scalable and modular, so more modular CSS. And right now I will make it very simple. So I will do like this: import. I will import variables.css. And then I will have to have a variables.css. I will place all my variables here. And I will do import layout primitives.css. Okay, and then I will need to have a layout primitives.css as well. And also I should have a reset as well, but I won't do a reset right now, because there might be a lot of things that needs to be styled when I do that. But this is not focused on the styling so much in this video. Let's start with the variables. So I will copy from my lecture notes, so you can take that as well. So basically is that I have here, I add in some font from Google Fonts. And here I will do something called modular scale. And with modular scale, it means that we have here is S0, this variable is 1 EM, so 1, so it's a relative unit. And then when moving on, we don't know exactly how big it is, but we know that, for example, we have something that should be slightly bigger than the default one is S1, and the one that is slightly bigger than S1 is S2, and the one that is slightly bigger than S2 is S3, and the one that's slightly smaller than S0 is S-1. And what you do when you do modular scale is that we have this, we do a calculation, and we use this variable S0, and we take it times variable of a ratio. So ratio is 1.5. So this means that S1 is 1 times 1.5, which is 1.5, and then S2 is S1 times 1.5. So it's S0 times 1.5 to the power of 2. And then here is S0 to the times 1.5 to the power of 3. So in this case, you will get a modular scale, and that will make it nicer for the eyes to look, so that you don't need to exactly define how much margin should I have now? How much margin should I have in this place? So by doing this, it will give a better flow when you're reading it. So that is the idea. And then some primary color, background color, and background secondary color. So this is just some variables that I usually use, but there's also many other variables, but I will skip that. And then layout primitives, I will also copy this one. So this is quite interesting. So the idea comes from a book called Everylayout, which is super good if you want to go into CSS and learn more. Highly recommended. So what they have is different types of layout primitives. that you can use throughout your project. And one of them is the stack. And how this one works is that you have, so this is the class, and then you have so it's the direct child of this class and every element from the second element. So this is something called the lobotomized owl. So every element after the second element, because it's every element plus every other element. So if it matches, like there's element plus element, then you should add a margin of top. And then I placed in different variables here to make it, for example, I want to have large stack, I want to have medium stack, and I want to have small stack. Okay. So this is all there is for my CSS. And if you want more things, you can just add it in assets and then import it here so that you can work with CSS in different files, so that don't put all the styling in one and same file. Okay, so now that was a little bit of theory. So how do I use this? Remember, we have this stack. That is just basically what I will use here. So I will go into my main, and inside of my main, I will see that we have, let's see, we have our TGB part container, right? So let's rerun this one first. So this is clean. And so it's after the container that we will have several cards, right? So what I do is that from the container, I will place in stack. So if I rerun this one, you can see there's a margin here. And there's a margin here. But this margin was already there, so it doesn't affect this margin. So if I do, for example, stack dash large, rerun this one, and you can see this margin becomes larger. This becomes larger, but this is still unaffected. So that is the lobotomized owl in action. So yes, we could do like this, and I can also add a card here to make this a bit all placed into a card. So we have cards within a card. So it looks like this in the end. So this kind of stands out as cards. And also you could have several small cards for metrics, for different KPIs that you want to show with large letters, large values. And this one, if I change here, you can see it still works. Okay, good. So in this video, you've seen me working with Taipy dashboard. So we've built this dashboard and started a little bit of placing different elements in different files, but still it needs some refactoring. But the refactoring I will keep until the next video. So for this video, we have done the simple layout of the dashboard, make it working. And we have done some simple styling with CSS. So thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye.